Now, from allegations of vote buying, an injunction that prevented 291 TESCON members from voting to the shocking defeat of incumbent General Secretary John Boadu and the expected victory of Stephen Ayesu in team as chairman. The NPP delegate conference at the Accra Sports Stadium lived up to the billing of a heated political contest. Maxwell Agbagba has a wrap of the event.
And God bless you in your future endeavors. The elephant is our symbol.
Please be upstanding.
Over 6,000 of them, draped in NPP colors and party paraphernalia, filled a section of the Accra Sports Stadium. The conference, which was scheduled to start in the morning, started some minutes after 2 p.m. with minority political parties and the main opposition party, the NDC, delivering their fraternal messages. Leader of the NDC delegation and Deputy General Secretary Peter Boama Otokuno did not mince words. It was a no-holds-barred speech laced with innuendos and criticism from introduction to conclusion.
I take particular notice of the levels of ostentation on display and regret deeply, rather deeply, that the MPP do not exhibit any modicum of the ability to appreciate the need to be sensitive to the people of Ghana in these times of great suffering and pain. The New Patriotic Party remains the luckiest political organization in Ghana, yet have only offered poor leadership, incompetent leadership, leading to the current economic meltdown and hardship for all Ghanaians. And we were coming. I decided to buy a ball of kenke. This ball of kenke sells for 5 cedis. The leaves on the kenke alone will be 3 cedi, more expensive than the kenke itself. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I bought the kenke with my Ghana card.
Thank you very much.
President Akufo-Addo in a speech said Ghana will negotiate a good deal with the IMF, one that will help build a stronger economy.
We came to office under an IMF program, a derailed IMF program, which we inherited from the Mahama administration. We worked hard to exit the country from the program, and we were in the process of building a strong economy until the events of COVID and its consequences. I want to assure you and assure the people of Ghana that we're going to negotiate a good deal with the IMF, a deal that will allow us to revive our economy and to continue the task of building an even stronger economy than we had before.
For those urging the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to resign over the prevailing harsh economic conditions and the decision to go to the IMF, that may not happen. As he says, it is like a father neglecting his child in times of difficulty.
You know, it's almost like telling a father to resign from his children because he's changed his mind. You know, there are times that decisions have to be made for the survival of a country, and therefore if circumstances such as COVID or Ukraine war occur, which are not typical, it does change the environment, and sensible people will change their minds.
The party had issued a clear warning ahead of the election, barring candidates from paying transportation, food and accommodation for delegates. The party said they would take up the cost to prevent any incident of vote buying. A candidate for the chairmanship position, Stephen Asamoah-Boateng, admitted he paid transportation costs. He alleged that other candidates were engaged in vote buying.
I'm confident I win. But yet today, I hear people are going behind me with money. They want to buy your vote. They're using money now, and when they finish, they cannot come to you.
Are you saying that you've not paid a dime to anybody?
I have gone round 3 times. I've given them TNT 3 times. Those who are coming with money now, they went once, and they gave only 200. At least I gave TNT 3 times, 150, 150, and then 100. So I've given some. So I'm giving some. And then they came last night. I've given them something. But others are going back. They want to buy it both. I don't know where the money is coming from. My support are staying firm. They are very solid. They say, Asabi, we send them. But we are taking their money. But we are voting for you. If the party don't restructure the way we conduct these internal elections, we can never tell where a drug dealer, a money launderer will take over our parties.
So who is paying?
I won't name them, but they know themselves.
The elephant is our symbol.
Please be upstanding.
We shall wait.
291 members of the tertiary institution wing of the NPP TESCON were barred from voting because of an injunction. Here are some of them who say the party would need its youth to break the 8.
That we are really disappointed, and it's not only me. 291 fellow patrons of TESCON, sleepless nights. We work tirelessly for our various institutions to bring members on board for the NPP. And them saying to break the 8, and we the youth without us, I don't think breaking the 8 will be possible.
We can't break the 8 without the youth. And who are the youth? The youth are those in the institutions, of which we have taken the mandate as their president to organize them. You get it? Yeah. So in our various institutions, we have our various mandates that we do. We do have to organize them. At times when you go into election time, you come to us, we do the organization. At times we do not even allow the students to even go to their various houses or their homes. We have to keep them in our various schools so that they'll be able to vote for the party to be able to come to power. So if we be able to do all this service, and you deny us our decision to elect our national executives, in fact, it's quite unfortunate for us.
The biggest shock after the declaration of results was for the General Secretary position. Youth Employment Agency boss Justin Frimpong-Kodua beat the incumbent John Boydu. He says all party members must put their shoulders to the wheel for the success of the party in the 2024 elections.
At the end of the day, it is the New Patriotic Party which has won, not any single individual. Our biggest quest is in the 2024 elections, for us to come together as one party and to fight the battle ahead of us. And it is the duty of all of us, particularly those that have won, to bring our brothers and sisters who couldn't make it. In 2024 elections, we need every hands on deck. And I can assure you, with the team that we have, everyone is going to have a role to play. And the message to the NDC is that they should watch out, because the MPP is breaking the 8, and the MPP it will be the first political party to go on the 10th term since 1992.
It was a close contest between Henry Nana Boakye and Daniel Titus Glover for the national organizer position. Many thought it would be a landslide victory for Nana B. He polled 2,870 votes as against 2,274 for Titus Glover. Salam Mohammed Mustafa was elected National Youth Organizer. After many fruitless attempts, Stephen Ayesu Intim won national chairmanship position after pursuing it for 20 years. He is hopeful the party will be able to break the 8 in the 2024 elections.
I'm grateful to my supporters and the party at large for giving me a memorable 64th birthday present. Finally, it's been 20 long years of wandering in the wilderness before clinching this position as national chairman of the New Patriotic Party. And I assure you that after 20 years of laboring in the wilderness before getting to this far, I'm going to cherish the chairmanship position. I'll value the chairmanship position, and I'll make sure that it will be a unique position that will remain enviable for anybody in the party to aspire at. God bless the New Patriotic Party. God bless Ghana.
The elephant is a wedding symbol. We are one to save Ghana. We are the new patriotic party. We are the new.
Let's just stay with the NPP and their internal elections. And the chairman of the NPP's National Election Committee, Peter McMahon, has dismissed claims of bribery at the just-ended National Delegate Conference of the party. Disappointed National Chairman aspirant Stephen Asamoah had alleged that some delegates were induced with money at the Accra Sports Stadium to cast their vote. But speaking on the probe with MFA Appel on Sunday, however, the chairman of the party's National Elections Committee, Peter McMahon, insisted he never saw anybody parting away with monies to urge delegates to vote.
As for me saying he gave them money for TNT, that's what I heard. Okay. That he's gone rounds 3 times, and every time he goes, he gives them money for transport. Mm-hmm. That's what I heard. So that's not a part of the crime on the PNDC law 284, okay, which is treated.
But I also heard him in there mention that as he speaks that day, this was yesterday, another candidate was going around giving them 200 CDs. Really, let's not be hypocritical about this situation. You're saying that as the chairman of the election committee, you have no idea about aspirants giving delegates money.
And so, Mr. Paul, you want to with aspirant come to McMahon and tell him I am going to give delegates 1,000 CDs. What is important is for McMahon to be proactive and put in these structures that will forbid the occurrences of these kind of treating and bribery.
And did that and was that structure put in place?
Very, very, very effectively. I am telling you, for the first time in various congresses in NPP, this is the first time that we have highlighted. You see, because you see, we wanted party members to also be educated on this law first, because it looks like the law is buried somewhere. So we brought it up from wherever it has been buried into the surface, and through your medium, we were able to reach out to the larger delegates and the general public. Hey, this is in the law, be careful. Be careful. And I even went on to show some video of recently an internal election in Nigeria where some people were caught red-handed. You see, that's the occurrence. There they were caught red-handed, parting with money to delegates at the Congress grounds. I think that your representatives who came to the Congress didn't see anybody parting with monies, exchanging monies to urge protest delegates to vote for him on the Congress ground. At least, having highlighted that to the generality of Ghanaians, you must put this in the back.
That aside, commending you for highlighting is different. I've asked a direct question. You can tell us right now that no single NPP delegate was giving any money by any aspirant, according to your intelligence as the chairman of the committee.
As far as the chairman of the National Election Committee goes, from where I sit, on the Congress grounds, I never saw anything like it.
Meanwhile, a fellow of the Center for Democratic Development, Dr. Osai Kwapong, says monetization remains an issue of concern in Ghana's democratic dispensation. Speaking on the back of the just-ended NPP National Delegate Conference on the AM show, Dr. Osai Kwapong said dealing with party financing is key to sustaining our fledgling democracy.
The issue of money. I think there was one interview with Mr. Asamoah Boateng, where I smiled because he was asked about the use of inducements for delegates, and he talked about how he only paid TNT. He visited them, he said about 3 times, paid TNT, but then he's heard that other day.
But that in itself, if you're sticking strictly to what the party says, is illegal. Even what he was talking about. So basically he was suggesting he had engaged in illegality and that his other contenders had also engaged in illegality, albeit maybe on a higher scale.
On a higher scale, right. So there's always that issue. And I think whenever that issue comes up, it also becomes a reminder for us, as we continue this discussion on how you deal with the role of money in our politics, questions of political party financing, but then more importantly, campaign financing and how you manage, the influence of money and the engagement of illegal, some of these illegal activities during, whether it's inter-party or whether it's during a general election.
Now moving on to other stories, some 200 Ghanaians have been recruited into various jihadist outfits in Burkina, Mali, and Niger. This is the outcome of a study by the Konrad Adenauer Institution on the jihadist threat in northern Ghana and Togo, stocktaking and prospect for containing the expansion. According to the report, terrorist groups have already infiltrated Ghana, and a Ghanaian fighter from Karaga was utilized in a suicide mission against French forces in Mali in June last year. It further states that there is an active recruitment ongoing in mining areas across northern Ghana. We'll be getting in touch with producers of the report for more details on these findings. In the meantime, though, my colleague Eliasu Tanko participated in the program held to launch the report and joins us live with more. Eliasu, tell us about this program and its objective as a participant. All right, so we'll get him so he can tell us details. But for now, let's try to broaden the discussion and speak to a security analyst, Adib Sani, on this. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak to us here on Newsdesk. Now, let's look at this particular research that has been conducted. What does this mean to us as a country?
Well, it is a disturbing report. As a matter of fact, I was very much in touch with one of the lead persons behind the report, and we've had, discussions in the past. It is not the first of this kind. In fact, earlier this year, there was a report that was presented to the UN Security Council that also pointed to a terrorist warehouse in Ghana, Togo, and in Benin. And so this tells us a lot about the level of threat we currently contending with. Indeed, the report also stated categorically that considering our proximity to northern Ivory Coast, northern Togo, and southern Burkina Faso, we've become more like a springboard, The terrorists are able to withdraw conveniently after staging attacks in these countries into Ghana, reorganize themselves, and attack again. And that is really worrying. And what I even find very damning in the report is the fact that they claim that Ivory Coast is much damaged, or rather Togo is more organized in the north in terms of security coordination than Ghana. Okay, so that should tell us that what I have suspected over the period, the fact that they are already in town and they are using us for other purposes, that is why they haven't attacked us, is quite genuine, okay? And the report also stated that there was between 200 and 300 individuals recruited. And after the training, they've been asked to get back into their communities. So the threat is really real, and it's quite obvious that our security would have to go beyond border security to homeland security, so we are able to identify them and degrade their ability to stage any attacks in Ghana.
How worried must we be at the revelation that the security setup of other countries, our neighboring countries, are more advanced than us as a country that is expecting this to probably hit us anytime soon?
It is really worrying, because if they are more advanced than us, yet they have suffered attacks. For example, in 2019, there were no attacks reported in Ivory Coast, Benin, and in Togo. But just last year, 2021, there were about 13 attacks in Ivory Coast, 5 attacks in Benin, and 1 attack in Togo. But this year, it is expected that the figures might even triple, considering the frequency and the lethality of the attacks we're witnessing in recent days. One just happened a few days ago in Togo. So that is really disturbing. And our security services will have to be up and doing. So we are able to prevent, further infiltration. And we are also particularly able to prevent these individuals from taking advantage of the 350 unresolved chieftaincy and land disputes we have in the country. Let's not forget that some of them take advantage of the insecurity in Ghana, particularly in Boku. Not too long ago, there was a police cable to the regional command that warned of some form of an infiltration into Boku. And after the fight, they were on their way back. And so we need to be looking out for these people. So it is really disturbing. It is scary. And it's a, rude awakening to the stark realities that we have to contend with. So we are able to safeguard the peace and security of Ghana, knowing full well what we have to lose if any such attack of that nature happens in Ghana.
Kindly stay with me, Mr. Sani, because there are some few questions I would want you to address for me. But let me cross over to our correspondent, Eliasu Tanko, who has been part of this training. Eliasu, kindly give us a brief on the objective of this program as a participant.
Well, this is part of a series of reports that the pre-mediation group has been conducting. The first report came, and it has to do with the activities of these jihadis in Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire as well. So this particular report is basically or mainly to examine the extent of the jihadist threat in northern Ghana and Togo as well. So just this report is to give an overview or to give an insight or highlight the extent of the jihadist threat in Ghana.
As a participant, what were the things that you took out of this training?
Well, this is really an extensive field work that was carried out 2 years. It took 2 years for them to compile this particular report. And the methodology is purely a field work, like I said, a series of survey and assessment of the security situation, especially in northern Ghana. And so we at the end of the report, it was a review that the suspected jihadists have already infiltrated the country, and the infiltration started somewhere in 2019. And we understand that a group of 5 fighters were sent to the borders in Burkina Faso, and they were sort of a vanguard to gather information, intelligence, and also to carry out recruitment. And so these particular 5 fighters have been able to recruit about 200, so to speak, 200 Ghanaian fighters who are currently within the jihadist outfit in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger mainly. And we understand that most of them are currently undergoing training in the Goma area in Mali and also the further regions in Burkina Faso. And the objective is to return these Ghanaian fighters back home to continue the jihadist activities in the sub-region. And so we understand that, and basically we have 2 main jihadist groups that are currently operating in the sub-region, and that is the Islamic State in Greater Sahel, and also the Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal-Muslimin, which is simply called the JINEM. And this report has been able to reveal that about 80 elements are currently among the ranks of the Ansar Islam, which is the major jihadist group currently operating in Burkina Faso. And also about 40 elements are currently also among the jihadist outfits called the Katiba Sema, which is also active in Burkina Faso and Mali. In fact, this particular group is active in the 3 border regions, that is Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And also the Ansar-Din group also has about 3 members, and also the most active jihadist group in the sub-region, which is the Katiba Masina. We understand there are 30 Ghanaian elements currently in this particular ranks. And we also know that the jihadists are also currently infiltrating the mining areas, especially in the Ghanaian Ivorian cross-border areas, precisely in the Upper West and then the Savannah region. More precisely in the Bole and the Chacha area, which is very closer with the Ivory Coast border. And we also know that in eastern Burkina Faso, closer to Boko and most parts of the Upper East region, an area called the Pama and Kompianga, which is in eastern Burkina Faso, they are also currently jihadists who are also operating in that particular area.
So since you live in that part of the country, especially those who are from the mining areas, what have the families been saying about this development?
Well, this is a covert operation currently ongoing. It is not something that is publicly known. And so most of the youth that are currently working or operating in this area, most of them get recruited and they don't know these people who are recruiting them. Okay. Currently, the strategy is that these people come in as miners, and then at a point they turn themselves into preachers. And so within the mining areas, they are able to preach their radical form of Islam to these particular young guys who are operating there, and this is how they get them recruited. And also in the Upper East region, the report mentioned the fact that because of the ongoing conflict in Boko, Doba, and Kandiga, and many parts of the Upper East region, the report highlights that the groups are exploiting this, and they are currently recruiting the youth group. And like you mentioned in your report there have also been a report out there that a Ghanaian have been utilized in a suicide mission in Mali. And so the youth get recruited, they don't know these people, and that is how serious this report should be taken, because some of them get involved and they only regret it later. They come to find out later that they are being recruited in jihadist group.
Eliasu, thank you.
At that time, it's too late for them.
Thank you, Eliasu. Now, let me return to Adib Sani. Adib, so what must be done at this hour to help, salvage the situation and to ensure that Ghana does not fall to this?
One of the lead persons behind this report. Like I indicated, we've had some previous discussions about what is going on. And I think one of the issues that came up is the need for us to address the grievances by the Fulanis in the country. I mean, I'm not stereotyping in any way, okay? But these are legitimate issues on the ground. For example, in Burkina, a lot of these terrorists are from the Fulani extraction, okay? And we know that since the first census that occurred in the 1890s in Ghana, we have Fulanis living here. Okay, now we have issues of Fulani herders and communities resulting in death. Not too long ago, there were a number of Fulanis who were killed at Zakoli, a town very close to Yendi. The situation was so bad that the Fulanis were planning to retaliate. And I brought the issue up, and at 1 a.m. I got a call from the IGP. That same morning, I met him. We spoke extensively about the issue. He called his commander. He asked him to go back to their community and assured them that something would be done. But I have also spoken with some leaders of the Fulani community in Ghana, and they contend that there's been several other attacks against Fulanis, and nobody is doing anything about it. And, when it continues, they will feel neglected, feel sidelined, and that is dangerous because the terrorists always take advantage of local grievances. And we also need to go beyond the militarization with which we've been fighting terrorism over the years.
Mr. Zani, I'm grateful to you for your time here. Now, let's return to the MPP conference there, because we understand TESCON is unhappy with the outturn of events. Joining us live is Emmanuel Dakon, who is president of the Accra Technical University TESCON. Now, Ima, what are your grievances? Because we understand that a legitimate injunction was secured against you. What are your grievances with regards to what happened over the weekend?
Thank you very much. With the issue of the injunction, we go through the stadium and then we're told that an injunction has been placed on TESCON and then the local proxy. We ask ourselves, who placed this injunction on TESCON? And what was the reason? Did the person think about our brothers from the Upper East, Upper West, the Bono regions, who traveled down here to Greater Accra, risking their life to come and vote and elect the leaders of the party, and just to be told that an injunction has been placed on you? Secondly, even when we go to the stadium, we realize that each region has been assigned a place, including the external branches, but TESCON wasn't assigned a place to sit. So we asked ourselves, did the planning committee feature TESCON in their plan, or it was just an afterthought? We think that TESCON wasn't appreciated on this level. TESCON wasn't valued at the National Delegate Conference. And we urge our new executive to correct some things, because we can't be treated this way. We are the intellectual wing of the party. We are the future of the party. And if we are treated this way, how do you think it will put some moral in us, it will ginger us to work the party, to work for the party more? It is so disheartening.
So what's the next line of action you would want to embark on in protest of what happened?
We are pleading because this MPP is our mother party. We think that MPP is the only political party that can turn the fortune of the country around. MPP is the only political party that can send out to the promised land as a country. Therefore, we are pleading with our executive, the elected executive right now, to restructure things and make TESCON nice and vibrant. We want the party to appreciate the efforts of TESCON. We want the party to come together and put measures in place. I think that some people raised the concern that an injunction was placed on our vote because there wasn't legit people on the album. But I ask myself, if there is no legit people on the album, is it the fault of the TESCON president? Is it the fault of we who traveled up from Upper East, Upper West, Northern region to Greater Accra to come and cast our vote? Is it our fault for an injunction to be placed on us? And after that, I just declared that no one attended to us. An injunction has been placed on you, and that's it. We from Greater Accra, we came back to our various homes without even being told anything.
But didn't you have access to the? Didn't you have access to the register to cross-check to see that all details there are accurate?
We don't have the register. We were not privy to the register. But what we know is that our names were in the register. We are legitimate presidents who are supposed to vote at the national level. So I don't know where from.
I'm asking this because at the conference grounds, we were told that there were some names that had been brought into it that were not qualified to have been on the list.
Been solved. If there was some names which were placed in the register, that thing should have been solved, because we had a whole almost 2 months or 1 month to the election. So if there was some names in it, in my thought, I think that should have been solved before the delegates conference.
Okay. All right.
So that shouldn't disenfranchise us from casting our votes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. He is the president of TESCON for the Accra Technical University. Now, former President John Dramani Mahama has asserted that the governing New Patriotic Party has exhibited that it cannot resolve Ghana's economic crisis. He detailed that the current economic crisis was born out of bad leadership and decisions by the Akufo-Addo government. He outlined reckless election-related expenditure, mismanagement, ineptitude, and lack of proper leadership as causes of the economic downfall, which had coerced the government to reach out to the International Monetary Fund, Speaking at the closing ceremony of a retreat for the Minority Caucus in Parliament at the Volta Serene Hotel in Ho, Mr. Mahama fought off an assertion by Vice President Dr. Bawumia that the government inherited an ailing economy from the NDC in 2017. He also disputed claims that the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukrainian conflict plagued the country's economy into distress, adding that other countries that experienced the same had not witnessed 30% inflation, double-digit deficit, and GDP ratio of around 90%.
Can wipe away the irrefutable fact that our present economic situation stems from reckless election-related expenditure, mismanagement, ineptitude, and lack of leadership. Irresponsibility is to shift responsibility to others. Leaders are simply not worth the mandate of many people. What Ghana requires today is serious to reverse the trajectory of the economic collapse that although I call Kojo to take reflective into the management of it is more than ever that those who superintend.
And it is these concerns
Sorry for the technical hitch there. I will bring you details of that story later on in subsequent bulletins. But we'll take a quick break now for business. Stay with us.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The Made in Joy Business Town Hall meeting takes place today at the University of Ghana Business School. The event is giving students the opportunity to discuss the state of the economy. Finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa, who will also moderate the event, has been speaking about how important it is for decision makers to engage the youth on matters concerning the economy.
We have all heard from politicians in relation to how the economy has been managed. For some, the economy has been managed well. For others, there's a lot more that can be done to turn the economy and to revive the economy. We've heard from CSOs. They have given us their views about what should be done as far as the economy is concerned. We have heard from researchers. We have heard from respectable men in the Ghanaian society. But there's one particular voice that we have not considered, and that is the voice of the youth. And we are starting the voice of the youth from the university campus. So we entreat all Ghanaians to make time to listen to the future leaders tomorrow, who will then come and express their views on how the resources of the state are being managed, what they make out of it, and then tell us the way forward in terms of how the public purse and issues relating to the economy should be handled. So it's an interesting program, and we expect that as many as can should join us, even as we give the youth a chance to voice out what they think is being done right and what, from their view, must be changed in order to get the economy on the right path. Right. Basically, they also say that the system is not that easy as it used to be, and I believe they are looking at it from resources that you used to have in the past, from maybe their parents and their guardians, that now it's not that easy to get. So from that perspective, once they don't get what they used to get in the past, then it means that something is wrong. And like, we shouldn't underrate the fact that they are young. Some of them are very much aware of what is happening in the society. So when they say it, you can see that what they are saying is a reflection of what is happening in the bigger society. And so we can't just downplay the fact that they are students. We need to also listen to them and then pick some of the useful lessons and information that they'll come up with. So we can also build this information and useful contributions into our planning and into our public sector financial management.
The Made in Joy Business Town Hall meeting from the University of Ghana Business School will be live on the JoyNews channel right here. That's at 1:30 p.m. Don't miss it. Next, in a bid to promote domestic tourism, Adansi Travels is partnering SG Bank to introduce a flexible travel package for tourists in Ghana. Known as Travel Now, Pay Later, the package will assist patrons to travel on credit basis. Here's more.
Ghana's tourism sector is expected to be revived through innovation and collaborative efforts from sector players and stakeholders. According to Adansi Travels, partnering with SG Bank is another way of supporting players in the industry to boost the once vibrant tourism sector. Managing Director for Adansi Travels, Gideon Asari, hinted that the package will respond to many challenges of tourists in the country.
With a lot of destinations open up, a lot of people are really eager to get some fresh air by venturing out and going out to new places. And however, we know that the current war in Ukraine has affected fuel prices, including aviation fuel, and that has made the cost of traveling very high. And in our country, Ghana, we are also affected with high exchange rates, and the economy is also not looking good. So travel now has become a little bit more expensive, and so as a travel agency at Adansi Travels, we have been looking for ways to cushion our travelers so that they can weather the storm that we currently find ourselves. And one of the ways that we find it useful is to find a payment plan that will suit our travelers.
General Manager in charge of retail banking at SG Bank, Obed Hoya, explains that the bank is keen on ensuring that the industry receives the necessary support.
So wherever there's a need to assist in getting financing to facilitate whatever activity, that's what we do. So as you said, yes, travel is one of the things that is becoming very prominent in our environment, and we are there to assist clients, our clients and future clients, to be able to facilitate these trips.
The Travel Now Pay Later offer also has a package for government employees.
And that's it for business. Thanks for watching. The news continues after this break.
Welcome back from the break. Now, Deputy Minister for Information, Fatima Abubakar, has urged public relations practitioners to ensure that whatever they do, they are able to live to the tenet of the profession. As she made this call at the second edition of the World Public Relations Day at celebrations in Accra on Friday. JoyNews' Tasha Michelle was at the event, and here is a report read to you. Welcome back, and it's time for us to bring you sports. And the man is here. Michelle, how are you?
I'm good.
What's on the table today?
Right, so, unfortunately, we're not able to make the 100 meters semi-final, even final. Yeah, but today we can make amends in the 200 meters heats. Joseph Paul Amwa is coming up at 12 a.m. If you want to watch, I have to stay awake before coming to work early tomorrow morning. So around 12 a.m. he's going to be running in heats, one of the 200 meters. And it's quite a difficult challenge for him because going through the other athletes in his heats, they've really put out some times which Amwa is going to have to challenge. But Amwa actually has some very decent times. This season he ran a 20.76. But looking at the top three guys in his heat who I feel can give him challenges, they've run times which are better than that. So if he's going to qualify to the semi-final, he has to produce a better time than what he produced during the season. But what works for him is the fact that even in the 100 meters heat in the semi-final and the final itself, all the athletes didn't perform as they did during the seasons, and they had slower times than what they used to qualify. So it goes on to say that most of the times what you used to qualify and the form from qualification does not really reflect. And so he might be looking at that to work in his favor. But also, unfortunately for Joseph Paul Amwa, his coach confirmed exclusively to Joy Sports that he's nursing an injury, and that also contributed to his not so good performance in the 100 meters heat. But he also said that he's coming back, recovering from the injury, and hopefully by 12 he will be in very good shape to put a very good time so that at least we can get to the semi-final of the 200 meters.
Yeah. All right. All the best to the guys. Wish them all the best. I'm sure the 4x100 relay.
4x100 relay. That'll happen later on in like 3 days. But even before that, we have Alex Amankwa will be running the 400 meters. And also, we also have Deborah Aqua who will be participating for Ghana in the long jump.
All the best to them. We are with them. We know that they are champions already. It didn't go well for us in 100.
And even with that,
but we know that.
Even with that, you know, guys, Ghanaians are a little bit disappointed. But I know with this athletics, they are going against guys who have been running at this top stage for 3-4 years. Fred Kelly won the 100 meters event, for instance. His first appearance in the at what Alexis was in 2017.
Okay.
Our guy's first appearance was in 2019. Even that was a team performance at the 4x100. So it was going to take time for us, you know.
There's time.
But there's still time. Yeah, our guys are young, you know.
All right, and that's sports for you, and that's how we wrap up today's bulletin for you. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. We apologize for not being able to bring you the train story. We'll bring that to you in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Stay with us. This is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism.